My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you for today's wonderful session with the Anaga Pandit. She is special. She handles children's emotional issues. I was surprised that even the child of 20 months has an emotional issue. Forget about the elder children. So, child of 20 months onwards can have emotional issues. And these issues come because of different circumstances in life. The parenting, the way we have, the parents are busy with their career, the corona, so many issues are coming, and social media, people are addicted, children are addicted to TV, mobile phone, and so many influences which are not there, which are new to the younger generation. We have wonderful opportunity to listen to Anagaji. She is expert in handling emotional issues of children. Okay. Now, I had read earlier what happened is they studied many people, adults, over 20-30 years period, how they behave. Psychologists found that the adults who have a lot of emotional maturity in life, there is intellectual quotient, emotional quotient. Emotional quotient, how do you handle emotions in life? How are you peaceful in different circumstances? They found the people who have listened to stories in the childhood, beautiful moral, spiritual stories, they have a lot of emotional quotient. The stories are like what we call as inoculation. They give the immunity for the child in the emotional disturbance in the days to come, because they, as a child, they go to deep psychology, deep into their consciousness. So that's where we started a program called Katha Jyoti, telling stories to children. We have more than 300 stories told to children. We found that a lot of emotional maturity, behavior changes in the children. These stories are from Puranas, scriptures. Purnima ji and many Katha Jyoti teachers, Purnima ji is driving this Katha Jyoti activity. Many of the Katha Jyoti teachers are telling stories in Kannada, English, and Telugu, and many children are participating. There's so much of maturity is happening in the children. So all of you are welcome to participate in the Katha Jyoti sessions. Children will benefit from them. And we have Anaga, Anaga, who is conducting a workshop for children. Through emotions, through stories, she will help children to become emotionally mature. More than children, this will help parents also. So I welcome Anagaji. First, let us do 3 times Omkara and start with the prayer. Om. Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. Purnima ji, you want to tell a few words about Anagaji, and then we'll
yes.
Anagaji to speak?
Yes. So, our young, dynamic Anagha Pandit, she's highly qualified. She's a master's in clinical psychology from SNDT University, Mumbai. And she's a postgraduate diploma in inclusive education. So here I think it means parents and children, inclusive education. And then most interestingly for us, she has got a diploma in storytelling from Kathalaya. So that makes it very interesting for us. most relevant why she is in Katha Jyoti. So Jai Katha Jyoti, like Prabhuji said, Katha, it's through Kathas, stories, they are sugar-coated pills, isn't it, Prabhuji? Like you said, inoculation. So what other way to help the child develop mentally and emotionally? So here, and she also, Anaga also has a certification in play therapy, Association of India. Very interesting. She has done so many interesting things, and we are very grateful to Anaga that she's keen to pass on these skills to our parents and children. We are really grateful to you, Anaga. And this is the Prabhuji always tells us, Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitaya. The Jagat Hita is social service is a very, very important part of everybody's evolution and development. So we are very happy to have you, Anagha. The floor is yours. So please tell us what you are going to do with us and the parents and the children. And and I'm sure you'll answer all our questions too when they come up. Anagha.
Yes.
Welcome, Anagaji.
Welcome. Thank you so much. I am indeed, it's my privilege.
Just one few words, Anaga.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Actually, we are very familiar with Swami Vivekananda, great personality. You know who is responsible for Vivekananda's great personality? We think it's Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. It is the mother of Ramakrishna Vivekananda, Narendranath. She told him very inspiring motivation stories and spiritual stories which build the character in Vivekananda. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa only give touch to that. The children, we can build character, moral, and strength through stories. And so that's where this Katha Jyoti program is very important. And that's where this Dr. Anagaji's program will help a lot of children. We welcome Anagaji to tell us what type of issues can be addressed, how you are going to address. Do you have some magic for that?
No, there is no magic. But yes, for children, there is one magic pill that we can all give them. And that is, they spell it TIME. If you can give your children quality time, that is the magic for all their behavioral issues that you might be facing right now. And trust me, it's a tried and tested technique. What a parent can do, no one else can do for a child, right? And what are we? We are full of stories, right? Our life is full of stories. What is our Purana? What is our culture? Culture, if you study culture, you study stories. You study mythological stories, you study religious stories, you study folk stories, folk tales. And there is so much history of great people. When we look at them, these are all stories. And little stories, when I use stories in my therapy sessions, you are able to predict or project your feelings on someone else. And when a child sees someone else going through what he is going through, he is able to relate and then come out and talk about it, right? So when, for example, if you know the story of a very hungry caterpillar, the very hungry caterpillar ate fruits from Monday to Thursday or Friday, but on Saturday he ate a lot of junk. And then what happened? Yes, obviously the caterpillar's tummy ached, and then the caterpillar had to go through so much more suffering. So then you just ask, your job is done. You just have to ask the child what happened when the caterpillar ate the junk food. Why did the caterpillar's tummy ache only after the junk food eating day and not after the other days? And you've got your point across. You just don't have to do anything else. In a very fun way, without fighting those battles, we have made our point across. So that is why stories are the basis for this program that we are going to do. Now let us understand what are life skills. Life skills are many, right? Cooking, cycling, balancing yourself on two wheels, swimming. All of these are physical life skills, right? And how many of us as parents have taught our children all of these skills? Can I have a show of hands? Most of us, yes? Yes. I'm going to change my view to gallery view because I can see only myself. All right. Yes. So a lot of us teach our children these life skills and we believe that they are important. Most of us also enroll our children for sports and this and that. How many of us are also bothered about nutrition, balanced diet? She doesn't eat this, he doesn't eat that. How to make my child eat vegetables? How many of us are bothered about it? Almost all, right? As parents, we all are worried about these aspects of a child. Now, life skills for mental health. What are they? What are life skills for mental health? Okay, so we are going to be dealing with, there are a list of 10 life skills identified by the World Health Organization, and we are going to be dealing with 5 life skills for this program. One is self-awareness. A child should be aware of himself. What do I like? What do I not like? What are my areas of strengths? What is it that I need to improve on? And if I need to improve on A, B, C, D things, what is my action plan? An idea is an idea until you have proper goals and deadlines to it, right? And so many times we find ourselves talking endlessly to children, but somehow it doesn't translate into their performance or behavior. So, how to do that, right? Children need specific instructions and specific training. So first life skill that we are going to be addressing is the self-awareness bit. Okay. I am not going to claim that after one session your child will become self-aware completely. No, there's no magic that can happen. But there is a way of thinking that you can develop and inculcate in the child so that he is able to think on those lines and become aware of what is happening around him and what he wants to do, how he wants to drive his life. Okay. Skill number 2 we are going to look at is emotional awareness. A lot of children, and I mean a lot, even 14 and 15-year-olds, when they come into my clinic and I ask them, how do you feel about this thing? When this happened, how did you feel? And they have no vocabulary for it, right? Culturally, we've been, I would not call it, it's not our Sanskriti, but overall from so many years or generations, we've been told, do not cry. Don't show, what are you crying for? Your toy is broken, it's all right, we'll mend it, we'll get another, right? So what are we telling the child? Do not express, correct? Why are you shouting? What is making you so angry? That means the child's emotion is bad. It's not allowed. The child should not be expressing emotions. So we are going to be teaching them about emotional awareness, that there are many shades to different emotions. They must be able to differentiate between anger, disappointment, hurt, betrayal. When they are able to differentiate between all these emotions, their reactions will be different. The intensity, when they are able to gauge, their reactions will be tempered accordingly, right? So we're going to be doing that. Then we will teach them emotional regulation skills. What we are going to teach them in this session is emotions are natural. We have a lot of examples in our mythology. Rishi Durvasa, Rishi Jamadagni, they were all learned people. They were all, we revere them, we respect them, but they were known for their short temper, weren't they? So emotions are very natural. Whatever level you attain, you cannot do away with emotions. You cannot avoid emotions. You cannot become labile, emotionally cold or stone-like. So emotions will come. What we have to teach our child is how to deal with them. It's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to throw things. It's okay to feel jealous of your sister. It's not okay to scream, shout, or hit her. So there are ways of expressing positive emotions and there are ways of expressing negative emotions which must be appropriate, socially appropriate, culturally appropriate, right? So yes, you will feel angry at a person who's jumped the signal and because of that person you ended up falling down and bruising your knees. But it's not correct to slap that person in the middle of the road. It's going to, you're going to end up in the jail. You're going to end up having more trouble. So there are ways to control or regulate your emotions. We are not talking about suppressing. We are not talking about bottling it up. We are not talking about right or wrong. We are only talking about how to regulate it so that we don't fall into bigger trouble. And we are also able to safely express, freely express. When the child is happy, the child freely expresses, jumps on the sofa, does a lot of things. We never say don't do. But when the child starts expressing unpleasant emotions, our instant reaction is, shh, no, not allowed, right? So that is what we are going to be working on with the kids, all right? Skill number 3, we are going to address problem solving. How to solve a problem. There will be problems bring stress with it. And there are a lot of issues that come out of it. Children don't know how to handle boredom. I am feeling bored, what should I do? They don't know how to, it's a sad state today, but children can't engage themselves on their own today. 15 years ago when we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago when we were children, we never had this कि मुझे bore हो रहा है. But today children are unable to handle their boredom. So we are going to teach them these little problem solving skills. There is a fight, there's a peer conflict, there's sibling conflict. What are the solutions? How to explore solutions and arrive at the best solution that they can pick up. That solution should also be safe. That solution should also be politically correct, morally correct. So we're going to be dealing with those things. The fifth life skill, of course, is creative thinking or imagination. How you can innovate, how you can build up your own stories. And we end up with a small story making competition. We call it a cooking of a story. So we cook stories and then we try to figure out with the help of so many other Atmajotis here, which 2 or 3 were the best ones. That is just to add a dash of thrill to, whatever the children are doing. Of course, each story will be very unique and the best, but just to give them a sense of competition, we might do this. Now, what is the need for these life skills? Let us look at the world that our children live in, right? One is there is immense competition. Whatever a child does, the child never does just for the fun of it. If the child is fond of an instrument, if the instrument classes and he is enrolled to an instrument class, then there are exams for it. If the child is interested in swimming, we push the child for competition. Any sport, district level, state level. So we are constantly pushing our children without giving them a chance to freely enjoy what they do. If the child likes art, he is enrolled to an art class. Everything becomes structured. Everything becomes directed. Nothing is free, right? So that is sadly the world that we live in. We may not be able to do much about it because we want our children to excel in everything, and it's a need of the hour. Academics, lots and lots of pressure academically also, because 99.9 seems to be 100 seems to be the ceiling. There is no place for 60s and 50s and sadly 40s. So it's a very sad state of affairs that we are only focusing on exams, paper pencil assessments. There are so many children. I deal with children who have ADHD, global learning difficulties, who struggle with reading, writing, but they are out of the box thinkers. They are the right brained children. But sadly, they are tagged as failures, backbenchers, not so good at studies, poor at studies, lazy, and things like that. So unfortunately, our system is such that the children have to put their heads down, write, study. Like Prabhuji was saying, 6 tuition teachers and 8 tuition teachers. I struggle to find 1 hour slot per week with a 10-year-old. Can you beat it? Monday evening, he has swimming class. Tuesday evening, basketball class. Thursday evening, guitar class. Wednesday evening, this. From morning to evening, school. Saturday, tuitions. And I have parents coming to me saying, please take a session on Sunday because he is busy on all other days. Why have you kept a child of a 10-year-old so busy? And what are we going to derive out of this madness, this rat race? We're only stressing the child with things more than his capacity, more than he can actually do. Many a times. Then the traffic, commuting time, children do get very fatigued and tired because of the commute, going and coming, the traffic noise, the stimulation. This was all absent when we were children. We used to walk to school, or maybe by cycle we used to go, right? There was no traffic. The commute time was hardly 20-30 minutes. The world has changed, and we need to understand the implications that come with it. So traffic, sounds, going, coming, I'm getting late, I'm stuck in traffic, it's raining heavily outside. All of these things add little fear, little stress in children's life. I hope there are no children listening to this. I'm sorry, I should have announced it beforehand. This session is strictly for parents. So please ensure that your kids are not around. Thank you. We have nuclear families, working parents. Parents do not have time for kids. Many a times, children tell me that my parents don't look at me when I'm talking. They look at their laptops or phones and say, ha, ha, yes, yes. Sometimes something and all they say yes. And then when I do it, they scream at me, why, who asked you to do it? And then I'm like, I asked you and you said yes. But when you said yes, you were in your phone and you just simply said yes. Or when I take an art drawing to my parents, they just look at the phone and say, yeah, very good. They've not even looked at it. So, these are things that we must also be aware of a little more mindfully. Look at children, give them eye contact, give them your quality time. That is how they spell love, TIME. Um, Media and gadgets, social media, lots and lots of exposure, online schooling, all classes online, constant screen exposure, um, YouTube's, feeding children in front of the screens, some strict no, something that I always tell parents who come to me. These are the things that we must follow as parents and then expect children to follow certain things, right? So this is the world that they live in. I have teenagers who come to me, 12, 13-year-olds, gone into depression because of a nasty comment someone commented on their Instagram picture. Oh, fat, so you look so fat. And that's it. The child has gone into depression. So, criticism, active, passive, aggressive, they need to understand how much to pay attention to what. Who is in my circle of significance? What feedback must I take? What feedback must I ignore? Because the world is going to be brutal. We can't expect the world to soften up for our children. We have to toughen them up to face the realities, right? Lack of play activities. In the past 2 years, it has intensified. Before that, also, children today do not engage in as much physical play as the previous generation used to. It is not their fault. The situations have changed. Only thing is, if we are aware of it, we'll be able to channelize their energies in a better way. They have to, if their energy doesn't come out in a proper manner, then that energy comes out through misbehavior, breaking things, knocking things off, jumping around in the house, fighting. So they have to be, energies have to be relaxed and gone out. And the pandemic, of course. Now, because of all these reasons, there are behavior problems. A lot of parents ask me that earlier there were no counselors, earlier there was no, all of this was not there, it didn't exist, it didn't seem to exist. And I tell them it existed, but we had the support. We had children sitting down making laddus with their parents. We had children sitting down kneading doughs with their grannies. We had children sorting grains, which was all sensory play. Pincer grip. You will not believe it that breaking pudina and coriander leaves actually helped you write, actually helped develop your pincer grips and fine motor skills. And a lot of parents today pay thousands of bucks to the occupational therapist who gives them these activities to do in the occupational therapy room. So, you can do that with your kids at home. My 2-year-old peels peas, green peas. It's her job. So that way they contribute to the house. They have that little sense of responsibility. The other thing that I see in children is a sense of entitlement. What will you give me if I make my bed? What will you give me if I finish my notes? Nothing. You jolly well do it. You better do it. It's your job. Okay, so reinforcements and rewards must be reserved for greater achievements. But roles, responsibilities, rules must be clearly defined in a household for children to be able to, come out in the way we want them to come. Because of this background and because of the emotional implications that it brings along with it, it has become extremely important for our children to learn life skills. We learned life skills on the fly. We never realized when we learned it. We had younger and older kids playing together. We used to fight and we used to resolve on our own. We never came back crying to our parents. But today there is a small fight, the parents come down from their apartments to fight, right? So we are not allowing our children to sharpen their skills. We did that effortlessly, but now we have to consciously do it. And hence the reason for this life skills workshop. Why stories? I already said. There are a lot of things that we learned through stories. We can connect well through stories. It is an indirect way of instruction. Instead of telling the child, please share, you're telling a story which encourages the child to share, which makes him understand how it feels when people don't share and how it feels when people share. So it becomes a teaching of its own, and then it's from the children. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them stories, and I'm going to ask them questions, and they are going to come out with answers, and then they are going to realize, okay, this is applicable in my case also, which we will also follow it up with some worksheets, some amount of homework, which I would want you all parents to encourage them to do it. According to the feedback that I have received, all children who attend this workshop do it on their own because they are interested and motivated. But just in case you find your child not interested enough, give them those printouts and ensure that they do it before they come back for the next session. It will help them implement and understand what is going on in the workshop better if they do those follow-up activities. So that's all from my end. I hope I was clear, and if there are any questions, please ask.
So Anagaji it was wonderful education. I'm not sure whether you help children or you help parents actually. You are giving a lot of parenting education.
I will help children when children are here. Right now, the session is for parents, parent oriented.
Okay, now it's for the parents to ask any questions for Anagaji. So parents, I hope you found Anagaji's talk very illuminating. And if you have any questions to Anagaji, you can ask. Will your child benefit from this? You can ask. Anybody has any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Hari Om. I'm Yashaswini's mom. Yes, ma'am. I'm very happy to hear all this. And now I'm able to realize what mistakes we are making. Yes, when the child comes to us. Yes, even I am also working. So I also see my bubble. I also tell her, yeah, it's nice. That's it. Now I really think, yes, what I'm doing is wrong. Many things what you have told is really going on in our lives nowadays, because due to the stress and due to work from home, all that. And I think this will really help out. Maybe we will change. I think it's better for parents than children, what you spoke about now. It's very, very helpful to us. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much that I think I should change myself now. Make sure I try to incorporate this in my daily.
Yes, it's always good to give them open feedback. What we do is we give them a very closed feedback. Very nice means all perfect. There's no room for improvement. But if you can tell them that I like the way you've imagined.
But sometimes, you know, what happens, the stress, what we go through also, we are not able to express that to them. And time limits, we too will have that, no? So it really stresses us sometimes.
So we will do a program for mothers very soon.
Thank you so much. I invite all my friends who are all facing these problems.
I'll just give you a handy tip on this. This is what I do because children don't understand. They don't have the boundary. My daughter also sometimes walks in when I am in a session or something and shows me. And I just take time out, look at her and tell her, darling, I'm busy right now. I'm going to look at it once this meeting is over. And then I make it a point to go back and see what she has done.
Yeah, so even I do that at the time. Yes, even at the time when I'm busy, if she walks in and talks to me, I tell her, I just see her and tell, but later I see that and I speak to her. But still, you know, these children, they are not satisfied. They want more and more. They have more expectations from us, which we are not able to do right now due to this pandemic and the work stress.
And we always think, you know, only these 2-3 years, then the child will be independent. Nothing like that. Let me tell you, let me warn you, until your children turn 23, you have no respite. Because each age, each phase.
They need mothers every minute they want. But all their suggestions, whatever they plan for, they want a mother's suggestion for them. That's true. Even if we are, even me, even though I am now hearing, but still I think I ask my mom sometimes for suggestions, what I can do in this situation. All that, and I take her suggestions also sometimes. Even my mother-in-law is also, because they're more experienced than us. Correct. So I feel, yeah, what you told is correct. You have to do as a session for parents, for moms.
Surely, surely. So, culturally also, we've always been told that being a mother is a great thing, and you have to do this sacrifice and all of that is toxic glorification. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be perfect. It's all right to be non-perfect. Nothing is perfect in this entire universe. Everything is a little skewed. So it's all right to be a little skewed. It's all right to take your time. It's all right to make mistakes. And parenting can be overwhelming. I completely empathize with you. It is very, very overwhelming, especially when you're multitasking.
Anybody else? Any has questions?
Hariom, I'm Shailesh Shri. Can I ask how this session is going to be? How we are going to tell the stories and uh, to make the children to know about how is it going to be?
It is going to be online. We will begin with a rapport building activity, a warm up activity, followed by a storytelling session, proper storytelling session for 20-25 minutes. And then there will be reflections on it where I'll ask questions, children answer, and we discuss and debate and do things. And then followed by it, there are some games in some sessions, there are some activities in some sessions. So, it all reiterates and makes the point very clear that what we are trying to deal with. So it's going to be online. There will be storytelling and
Okay.
Followed by follow-up activities.
Oh, this workshop is going to be for how many days?
5 days,
5 days.
1 hour
And
per day.
okay, it is going to start from.
We'll communicate the dates to you shortly. Purnima ji, we are aiming at 2nd week of May, right? Or 3rd week of May?
9 onwards, no?
9 onwards.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay,
9 to
9
13.
to 13th May.
9th, 30th. Okay, that's what I wanted to convey. If this is going to be the only workshop going to be conducted, or in future you will be conducting one more workshop like this? Because
there is a sequel to this workshop which we may plan on conducting, which will address the remaining 5 life skills out of the 10 life skills as identified by WHO. And replication, I don't know. We're going to start off now, but I'm sure there'll be more. If your child is not going to be able to make it to this one, maybe you'll have another.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about. If he's not be able to wake up this time, can he make up next time? So that's why.
I think that is up to Purnima ji.
Prabhuji. Yeah, we will take a call on that. We will see the
Okay.
response. We'll see how it goes. And the time constraints. Anagaji also is a professional. She has to be free, isn't it? So we'll take all that into account and we'll come back with the schedules later. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. One last question from anybody. Anybody has a question? So there are people who are the twins also. Now children, parents with twins have different type of problems.
Yes.
I'm not speaking of triplets, okay? Twins. So, Ashwini, any questions?
No, Guruji. Actually, Nagaji, whatever you said, everything, some of those scenarios is going on in our house also.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to these sessions, and yes, maybe, we need a, session for moms also to see how we can, handle these issues, because of our new lifestyle that we have. I think that's what we are finding it difficult to cope up. Like you said, older generations, children could play everywhere. All the, you had the support system. Here also we have they have their grandparents here with us, but that we can't let them go freely on the to streets and play with the other children. And also with this COVID, they're not able to play with the neighborhood kids. Also, there's no place to play. They have to play on the roads, which we cannot allow. So this interaction with other children is not happening right now. And because of that, during this COVID times, I saw a lot of different behavioral issues with the children, and constant fights. I think that is there in all houses where there are siblings, I think. So comparison, all those, anyway, those are all there, but I think previously, we could, it was, I think we are getting, the parents are getting too stressed about it. Each small thing we go and we try to resolve it. I think, yeah, I think there is a parenting thing required for us. It is really required. So,
by the way, Ashwini has twins, okay?
yeah.
Yeah, I saw
She's very
that.
fortunate. Okay, if there are no questions, can we close the session? Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll close the session. Anagaji, you have any other advice? Any other inputs?
No, I think that is enough. And it would be good if children can keep some blank sheets and sketch pens and colors ready at hand while the set. Of course, I will put all of that up when we are starting it also. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an exclusive and happy time with kids.
Yeah. Please
Okay.
log in on time,
Yeah.
because that 1 hour is very precious. So let's not waste time waiting for people to log in. And so please ensure that your children log in at 5 minutes earlier, right? Yeah.
I would like to say that very happy to get connected to all of these people. You all are very spiritual. You all are, that positive energy is there in the community. And they say there's an African proverb which says it takes a village to raise a child. And therefore, this is the village, if not real, virtual. But I'm so happy to be a part of this. My children attend a lot of Balajyoti programs. The older one, the younger one is too young. But I'm very privileged and grateful to all of you, Purnimaji, Prabhuji, and the parents who have taken time out today from their busy schedules. It is a Sunday and yet we all are here. Very, very grateful. Thank you so much for welcoming me with open arms and giving me this opportunity to touch many more lives. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anagaji. I would like to, for this wonderful session, I didn't know parenting is so complex. Nobody gave us, I studied my engineering, but nobody gave me education in parenting. So it's a parenting also requires education. I came to know just now. Fortunately, my children are grown up. Right?
What about grandparenting, Prabhuji?
Yeah, there's a grandparenting is some next challenge. So, thank you very much, Anagaji, and thanks to all the parents. Please use this opportunity and tell your friends or relatives. Anybody may be interested, though miss the session, they can see this recorded video. This will be a wonderful opportunity to interact with Anagaji, and this will be very valuable for the children as well as parents. I also request all the parents to make best use of the Katha Jyoti program, where you have a lot of variety of storytelling which goes on. We have competitions. Last week we had a wonderful session where children came with their toys and told stories. So this way we can encourage children to express, to learn emotion skills. I welcome all of you parents to use the opportunity provided by Katha Jyoti. You can contact Purnimaji for any details. Let us close with the prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, Anagaji and parents. Let us look forward to meet again. Purnimaji will announce the dates and timings.